Yeah, it means a lot. I think, that'll take me to my 8th year, which, sort of doesn't really feel that real. But yeah, I'm super excited and still pretty bullish on what this group can do over the next, especially few years.
Can you talk us through how it's been this year?
Challenging for sure. I sort of felt like that at the start of the year, I was really ready to play some really good AFL footy and felt like I was really locking down that forward role. So to go down injured and do my Achilles and be out for the year was really disappointing for me personally, and also those close to me as well. But it's given me a bit of time to reflect on what I can get better at, what will help me in the role when I return. And so, yeah, it's just given me a bit of time to work on that, which is, been somewhat enjoyable. You try and find the enjoyment out of it as much as you can in rehab, but yeah, it's given me a bit of motivation and clarity on what I need to go after for next year. Yeah, well, I think lesson in terms of like reflecting on what I need to get better at would be, I just want to get a bit stronger, put on a bit more size whilst maintaining my running capacity. But then lessons in terms of, being injured, I think you can take for granted playing. I know it's a massive cliche on, when you're playing, don't take it for granted because anything can happen and a change, and often you forget that, and I'm one that has even spent a lot of time in rehab and still often forget that. So yeah, I think it just gives you a new appreciation that even when it's going, not like we wanted this year, the best part about playing footy is playing footy, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was something that I really missed this year, but has got me extra excited for when I return next year.
Watching from the sidelines is never easy. How did you cope with that?
Yeah, it is hard. It's always been a challenge. I mean, everyone that is injured, it's always hard to watch because you just want to, either when you're losing, you want to play and contribute, and then when you're winning, you don't want to miss out on that feeling and that camaraderie with the group and playing together. So yeah, it's always a big challenge, but I think this year the club handled my situation really well and allowed me to have a break, about 3.5 weeks in Europe during the middle of the season, which I think just gave me a lot of motivation to get right for that trip in terms of rehab wise, but it gave me a really good reset and allowed me just to distance myself for a little bit, have a break, and it's allowed me to come back really motivated for this off season and then pre-season going into next year.
Big step in your recovery today with your first run back. Talk us through the moment.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I sort of like it this way where it's just, not all the boys around and you get that, running through the banners and all that sort of stuff. I sort of like just getting it done because it's, not that special. I think it's more special playing your first game after rehab, but yeah, it was really good. The Achilles felt good during it, and then I've pulled up well also. So yeah, that was an exciting thing to tick off, but still got a long way to go.
What is the plan for you now in terms of the next phase of your rehab?
Yeah, so the next sort of phase of my rehab will be just continue running for the next 3-4 weeks, and that'll ramp up as it goes. And then I think beyond that, we'll get into some ball work, some change of direction, and then from there it sort of ramps up pretty quickly. And then yeah, looking to be back doing most of training in December when we return, and then we'll be right to go come match play. And I try not to think too far ahead. I mean, my short-term goal is just making sure I get my power back to where it was, or even better before I did my Achilles, because I know that helps my game a lot. In terms of just goals I have on myself, I think I just really want to take that next step at AFL level. I think a lot of players in my draft year this year were able to do that, and I feel like that I was ready. I felt ready this year to do that. Unfortunately went down, but I think, yeah, as a goal, I really want to take that next step and play some really high level AFL footy.
Hello everybody, hello and welcome to the Blue Abroad show here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. We are here Monday, the 8th of September, 2025, and Pommy is back on a Monday night, and we didn't lose a game. Hello, mate.
Yeah. Always a pleasure to be back. Long time since I've been called up, which is weird because we lost quite a few games in the back end of the year. But because I was tired of waiting, started to do other stuff on a Monday. So a rare Monday free, and looking forward to doing whatever we're doing tonight.
Yeah. How has your off season been? I mean, you haven't really stopped. You've just gone more into the rest of the league. How has your off season been?
Well, we have been the rest of the league for the majority of the year, to be fair. So not much has changed from me, basically. I mean, usually everyone else just bums about at this time. Let's be honest. Like, the season finishes, everyone just sacks off, or we just get the opinion that no one asked for. So we try and do different things at Pommy and Oz. So what we're doing at the minute is we're really into... I don't want to coin the term because I really hate it because the Americans have bastardized it, but we are looking at the Moneyball intricacies of the AFL, how you recruit players. So we're trying to analyze every trade rumor, give it pros and cons, because I think that the layman, the media, will just look at every deal and go, you're either throwing money at the problem, oh, it's a big risk, or oh, the guy was injured and he didn't get in the best 22 at West Coast, which means he's shit. Very bare analysis. At Pommy and Oz, what we like to try and do, talking in third person, is offer you an opinion that's been researched as opposed to just saying a blanket statement. So I think that's what separates us from everyone else. Everything we say, we've actually researched. We haven't just giving you a blanket statement, oh, he's called Colin. Name me the last good player who was called Colin. So that's what we do over at Pommy and Oz.
Nice, mate. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that. We're going to get into Carlton tonight. It's going to be a heavy focus on trade and free agency. I asked in a video last week at some point if people wanted a breakdown. So we're going to repeat this time. We're going to do it every year. We're just going to go through free agency terms, things to know, things to be aware of, maybe use some analogies to explain it. We're going to play a game in about 10, 15 minutes. We're going to rank the rumor. So I've got a bunch of Carlton trade rumors. I'm going to get a nice graph up and we're all going to rank the rumor from genius to cooked and a few other layers in between. And we'll have a bit of fun, have a bit of a laugh, and mate, that'll be Monday night.
Oh, you've sold me. Let's crack on.
Only Carlton. I am down for a ladder predictor anytime. Anytime. There was some breaking news over the last couple of hours that I'll just quickly touch on. So firstly, Brody Kemp, we saw the news that he has extended. He'll be here till the end of 2027. Initial thoughts? Surprised? Normal? Expected?
I was expecting it, to be honest. I mean, coverage of an area that we probably need. We talked about it last time I was on this show. I think we talked about it. Like, he was quite scarily round 20, still in our top 10 goal kickers. So, considering at that stage in my life, I'd forgotten Brody Kemp had even featured in 2025 until I dug that stat out. I think he's probably worthy of it, isn't he, to be fair? So, no, he seems like a good guy. It was nice Carlton have actually improved quite a lot since this time last year. Genuinely, when we do a contract re-signing, it usually resembles a fucking hostage video, didn't it? It actually looked like he was out on day release. So that was good.
I kind of like the new look. He's gone to Europe and he's got the 5 p.m. shadow. He's gone. I'm liking this.
That's because he looks like you. That's why you like it, bro. Like, come on, let's not take the piss.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the facial hair on Brody. It's just a man with some wisdom on his face, you know? It's a man that's done it tough.
He does, doesn't it? It's almost like you two have been going to the same gym, isn't it?
Hey, what can I say? The next bit of breaking news was the official news that Campbell Chessa has requested a trade to Carlton. So he will feature in Rank the Rumor shortly, but your initial thoughts? I mean, I know you did a video earlier today, then the news broke that he officially requested a trade. Campbell Chessa.
The cam dog. I mean, look, let's be honest. Some concerns regarding injury, but I mean, I look at it this way, right? In the third round of the draft, I'm not going to give you the same line that everyone does at the minute. Everyone's just tried to downplay this draft, and I think that's an incredibly dangerous game. I think what you're seeing with this draft is everyone is very neatly packed, and there's going to be a plethora of mistakes. When you think about what pick they're probably going to ask for, you look at Eagles historically; they don't hold players to ransom. It's got to be done. It's going to be a late pick. It's going to be a third rounder at best, probably. They're into Elijah Hollands. It could even be one of them dodgy little deals where you swap something, and then because the AFL is incapable of doing a player-for-player swap, they'll do some kind of ridiculous future swap. Because that's what the AFL does. We can't just say, you want Elijah, we want Campbell, let's just swap it. So it's going to be very late. It's probably a benefit. He's a high ceiling player and he's an element of risk. And we are taking Elijah Hollands out, who was the same a couple of years ago, high element of risk. It didn't quite work out. The skill set, though, that Campbell has, he's been horrific with his ball use in AFL level. But I will say, from a draftee, I remember him well. Ben's Hobbs draft, if you remember it. The Hobbsy draft, the JHF draft. He was an incredible user. He's got an incredible technique. So if Carlton can get him right, McQualter was glowing about him. Kind of put the injury concerns on Eagles, not them. If you know what I mean. So it's a fascinating one. So it's a risk-free, for what it is. It's a risk-free deal. It's a risk-free deal. So I'm happy to play it out. I do like the fact that he looks like Zac Efron from High School Musical, so that's good.
Yeah, I actually remember his draft night, and I remember the Guernsey that they put on him, the 3XL Guernsey. I completely forgot about it until the pictures resurfaced today. Do you think this is a sign of this year that we need to maybe prepare for? I mean, there may be a big name here or there, but for the most part, we're going to need soldiers. Do you think that's something that needs to be prepared?
Well, I don't really look that far ahead, Terry, to be honest. I think it's just one of them straightforward deals that a list wins you a flag. It's not your stars.
Yeah.
So I look at it this way. Let's just say what we know for facts. Who have we lost so far? We've lost TDK, we've lost JSOS, we've delisted Harry Lemmy, and we've delisted Alex Cincotta, and we've lost Sam Doherty. Campbell versus Alex Cincotta, when you look at the profile of player we need, it's a lateral replacement. So we recruited Alex Cincotta as a halfback because of his pace. We've recruited a wingman who can play at halfback, has played a variety of positions in state league football and for West Coast Eagles, who has got good kicking traits and things like that. So at the end of the day, it's probably a younger version of Alex Cincotta that's less on the defensive side, more on the movement of the ball. So that is, for me, just a win straight away. And like I say, with the draft, you've got to look at the pick of what you're giving up. So let's just say it's a third rounder. In most drafts, you may get lucky in the third round. Statistically, you don't. Having covered the draft for ages, the big problem with this draft is you haven't got the top end talent. And then you're going into like the later picks in around pick 10 to 30, which a hair lengths between them. So it's probably easier getting someone you know. You know what Campbell is. He's got a few injury issues. If they can sort that out, though, there's no doubt, based on who would be pick 30, I'd take Campbell fully fit.
Yep, fair. All right. I want to start with this clip here. It's a clip that was posted yesterday from the Michael Voss SEN interview. So it's come from last week, but the clip was only posted yesterday. It was just around what 2026 is and will be, because the R word has been thrown around here a lot. Is it a rebuild? Is it a recharge? Is it a refresh? Is it a reset? And I just want to start here, and then we can gather our thoughts. So this was the coach on what 2026 is or will be.
Reading between the lines of the initial part of the discussion, list is sort of where you roughly want it to be. There's enough there to get you back into the top 4 or top 6. Game plan, you'll do some tinkering, but largely it's in reasonable order with, and a little bit of luck with injury and those sorts of things. You think you'll be okay. So your overarching message to the Carlton fan is what? That this is just a gap year or a dip year that you think you'll bounce back from?
Oh, it's a reset. No, it's a reset. It's to what level, it's difficult to tell, because the reality is that this period of time, how long does it go for? It's October. We've got up to October 15 for this to play out. So there'll be even longer than that. We're talking about towards the draft. So until really you're set with all the magnets that have landed and you know what you've got. But every decision we make has a short-term interest in mind and it has a long-term interest in mind. But what I can actually say is that every decision will be made with Carlton first in mind. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to do this for Carlton. And so we haven't figured as prominently as what we'd like to for over a decade where we want to be, and that's playing finals football. So the decisions we need to make has to move us towards that. Is that one step at a time? Is that 6 steps ahead? I don't know yet. But, for us, it's about being able to, to reset right now. Obviously work our next 6 weeks and trying to make some good acquisitions and then we move on.
So how aggressive will you be in that space?
Oh, as aggressive as can be. Absolutely.
You're chasing what type of player are you looking for?
Oh, it's not so much. It is clearly obviously about types because what you trade in is you want to get specific. But, everyone loves to be able to get another goal kicker and everyone loves to be able to get a little extra ball carry in your team. So we've got to shore up a couple other positions. Obviously, we've got, Jack Silvani's sort of leaving. So, he's been sort of an important partner to Weeders down back there. That probably made us, a little bit stronger behind the ball. So we lose that. So how to, what's coming through. Obviously there's a father-son there with Harry Dean.
Yeah.
But he's a young man that's still got to, evolve into the player he wants to be. That's going to take a little bit of time. So we have to factor all those into our decision making.
Right. So chat, what's your perception when you hear that? Pommy, what's your perception when you hear that? What does that mean to you?
Honestly, absolutely nothing. I would take that interview with the impetus. I would take an angry text from my ex at 3 a.m, straight to the recycle bin and move on. The words that were spoken, I think the most confident and clear in Michael Voss's terminology was when he danced around the question and managed to get in the new keyword, Carlton first. That's becoming my personal favourite at the minute. I thought we were past the era of witty slogans, but somehow Sam Walsh and Michael Voss have accidentally not coincided. But they have done. It's definitely been a mantra to do it. So what did I get out of that? I thought it was interesting when he said the reset and then he gave us a date of what's coming. We're not too sure. And then gave us the date in the trade period, which would maybe indicate there's going to be more changes, maybe that we don't know about, or maybe indecision on who is committed to the list. Reset, I found, is a fascinating word because you can be very blasé and just be selfish almost, and you interpret reset in the terminology that you would use it, which I always find fascinating. People like to put words in people's mouths. Reset could mean 101 things. Is it a reset of culture? Is it a reset of values? Is it a reset of the playing group? Is it a reset of a way of thinking? I do think Carlton have got a reset that they've lost TDK and the way that it plays. So you've got to reset your methodology and you've got to reset the way that you move the ball and deliver. And I did like the fact he focused on that in the types of players, another runner with the ball. So I think it's going to be fascinating. This is one of them ones that I listened to it and genuinely 18.4 seconds into it, I got bored. I was like, okay, cool. I've been here before. You're going to feed me with some words. I'm excited about seeing what it means, though. I've heard a lot of slogans from Carlton. I want to see what a reset of the list is, because I think that there's a lot to do with this list. And I did like the fact he said we're going to be as aggressive as can be. I didn't like can be. I'd rather have we're going to be fucking aggressive. We're going to use Voss's phrase. I love what Tatum says, spot on. I think it might be a general reset of everything, like Ryan is saying. But I do think the game plan has to be reset, because the thing that's got us away for 2 years has been TDK in the midfield. So now that's gone. Now you are going to have to address that, winning a lot of the ball and doing fuck all with it.
I subtly took that as, well, it depends how many people leave, aka see if Charlie comes back from his holiday and wants to stick around, and that'll help determine the level of reset that we're going through.
Indeed. Look, to be honest, they're words at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as I said, I'm willing to play it by ear. Let's see it. I'm a little bit of I've got a little bit of disdain at the minute. I'll be totally honest, chat, with the club, because for 4 weeks, I feel like we've focused way too much on no BS and Carlton first. Like, I get it. But right now, we have got to make some changes. So I would like to see, just fucking make the changes. You've told me you're going to make the changes. I'm well aware of it. I don't need my hand holding through it. I don't need witty slogans. Go and do it. And whoever the players are on the hit list you want to trade, I will fully support you, providing that you will be bringing players in. I don't need a day-by-day hand holding. I'm an adult. I'll be fine.
Figure it out. Well, speaking of words, let's turn to the trade period, free agency period, draft period. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some key phrases which are really important to define before we continue on with our game that we're going to play. Pommy, we do this every year. You do it every year. Have you found an easier way to describe free agency?
To the average person, yeah, I do. It changes every year, though, because you when you try and explain things, you try and work on a frequently asked questions basis. I think that's really incredibly important. And then sometimes the frequently asked questions change. So, like this year, I did notice Twitter erupted quite a bit. That people started saying Josh Battle and Jack Silvani, there's only 8 months between them in age. But then couldn't quite understand that was a year ago. So even though there is 8 months, you have to add the year as well from when it happened. And it was amazing by how many people that claim to be intelligent can't add 12 to 8. This is what I do. When someone says something stupid and I'm like, maybe I'm being mean, I asked my 9-year-old and my 9-year-old worked it out. I said, if there was 8 months between me and my brother, right, for argument's sake, and I did it at this day, in a year's time, how much difference would be from my age to him? And my brother was like, and my son was like, 20 months, Dad? Okay, well, a 9-year-old gets it, so that's a good start. So to answer your question, Terry, yes, the goalposts change frequently, though.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to go through the difference between band 1, band 2, restricted free agent, unrestricted free agent, because I do think they are important to know, not only for the players that we're losing, but the players we might be bringing in the next couple of months. So how would you explain a restricted free agent in the simplest term possible?
Okay, well, the best way to describe this is imagine this was a free agency like in real life, in real sport. So once your contract ends, you can go anywhere. Restricted free agent is a caveat that the holding club can always match a player. So think free agency NBA. Once you're out of contract, you can go anywhere. Think this as a caveat that protects the owner of the contract prior to keep him at all costs by just simply matching. So he's not really a free agent. It's almost like a form of AFL slavery. See it that way. That you've got to give me enough trees. Think, Vikings, they like to trade with farmland. You've got to give me enough farmland to give you this person.
So free agency is kind of like being single again after a long-term relationship. And a restricted free agent is like you're dating someone, but your ex...
You want to go down this route?
Yeah, but their ex gets the right to match the new relationship. Is that right?
Okay, so think about it that we're in an open relationship. Restricted free agency basically is I can go around and sleep with anyone else, right? Because my wife has let me, but I can't date that person unless she dumps me.
Releases you.
So I can flirt with everyone. I can even jump into bed with them, but I can't be monogamous with them.
Oh,
so you've made this more exciting for me because you brought this down to my wavelength now, sex. So let's do it. Come on, we can do this all day.
So unrestricted, you've been single long enough. No one's got a say in what you do. You can move to Bali, date whoever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah. So to use the marriage analysis, your wife has literally said, "Get out, you're bad." So now you've got two options. It's 3 a.m. You can go back to her and beg, or you can go to a new one.
Okay. Now, delisted free agent.
You've been kicked out. She's deleted your number. She's even moved town. Every time you ring her now, it just goes to answer phone. And now it's time to find something else.
So you've been dumped by text message, but you still tell everyone that you're exploring your options.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, this one is you were married, now you're not. You're Rebs, 4 a.m.
Okay. Compensation pick.
You're in Rebs. You're in Rebs at 4 a.m. You're in an amicable divorce, and Rebs pay your wife to let you go.
Okay. So that's a compensation pick. So it's like your mate eats the last slice of the pizza and you give him a piece of garlic bread in exchange to sort of lessen the blow because you really wanted that piece of pizza.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, by definition, what the idea of... So it's very important to understand what the premise of compensation picks are, because it is fascinating. Carlton fans are now going through what every other fan base goes through when they go through it. And it's not designed to benefit the seller. It's designed to protect a football club from losing an incredible footballer or a top player from their team against a top level team. So the premise of it is I'm North Melbourne, LDU's a restricted free agent in this example. If LDU goes, you know what, fuck off. I hate this place. Shithole. And Geelong take him. It's to protect Geelong. It's to protect North Melbourne. It's not meant to be so North Melbourne benefit, hence why it's offset on a lot of mediums like age, contract length, ladder position being an incredible, important one. So don't ever look at it like TDK should be 2 picks. It's literally meant to be. The definition of the rules are really clear. A net player loss. People are talking about points, which is the old system. It's now a net player loss. So the idea is lose one player. He's in the top percentage of your payments. You get a very good pick, your first, +1 to replace him if he's band 1. The idea is the onus is meant to be the top clubs lose players because the salary cap becomes. And it's funny, we've had this free agency now for 10 years nearly. Issue is, Only St Kilda in the last 10 years have actually used this system for its betterment. You're meant to throw big money at it. That's the idea. Shit clubs have cap. They overpay to bring a player in. So it's fascinating that suddenly now everyone's changed their mindset.
Gotcha. So Tom de Koning is a band 1 compensation pick for a number of reasons. A couple of them are his age, 26. He's just turned 26 in July. Size of the contract, length of, total value of the contract as well. Pretty straightforward, the Tom de Koning band 1 compensation. Is that because of a number of factors, or does the size of the contract really just make it really clear that it's band 1?
Okay, so the best way to do this is to go through compensation picks. So we'll pick 4 of the most recent ones.
Yep.
Now, you've got to remember he's a restricted free agent. There's a difference. Unrestricted free agent versus restricted free agent. So the technical definition, so Debbie's confused because we've used sex and sexual things. So I apologize to you, Debbie. But restricted free agency, what it means is basically I can't lose you without somehow being compensated. Unrestricted means that the player can go wherever he wants. Mm-hmm. And genuinely, I'm not compensated. The idea of the difference being is unrestricted is very easy to replace because I just replace it with another out-of-contract player. Restricted is a bit more nuanced because they're in the top echelon of players' earnings. Ergo, it's harder to replace a player of that ilk. So for argument's sake, an unrestricted should be someone like Chessa, mid-tier pick, role player. Doesn't matter if he's good or not, but he's a role player. He's your 20th to 23rd man. Solid, but you can replace him. Top level player is a restricted, right? So what we're looking at here with Tom, you look at the last past ones. So the restricted free agents, Perryman, 25 years old and 9 months at October the 3rd. So that's when they do it, the day of agency. 900K per year, 6 years. Josh Battle, the one that they always refer to, Chessa, he was an unrestricted free agent, 26 years old, 1 month, 850. So because of what we've seen at the minute, you are getting 1.8 million forever contract, easy band 1.
Gotcha. Jack Silvani, like you said, restricted. Band 1 is a pick after your first pick. And because our first pick goes to Hawthorn, it's the pick after that.
Yeah, so, and it's done on the pick that you are allocated. So that doesn't mean if you've traded it away, it's something else. You are still allocated the pick. So officially we have pick A becomes 9. So that's how you look at it.
Cheers, Slobbo, for the donation. Okay, band 2. Your mate eats your pizza, gives you a couple of nuggets in exchange. So you're not left starving. And in this case, it's an end of first round pick. So the Jack Silvani situation is most likely to be a band 2 pick, which will be somewhere between 21 to 24, given the bids that will come before it.
Yeah, so we have got, when people were saying this one's hard to place, we have got, where are we? Isaac Cumming would be probably the closest. So Jack Silvani is currently 27 years old, 9 months on the day of free agency at 850 for 5 years. Isaac Cumming was 27 years old and 1 month on his day that he signed for 850 over 5 years. People keep referring to Josh Battle. It's important to note Josh Battle was, as Kaltumi reported, nearly 20 months difference in age. And everyone was like, oh, he's only 8 months younger. No. Because last year, time froze. Today, time continues. The Gregorian calendar has been in existence roughly 2,025 years. So 12 months plus 8, nearly 2 years. That's where you'll get band 2. So it's probably band 2. We believe it's a top secret, the AFL. They don't tell you what the bands are. But for unrestricted, we are led to believe that it would be 950 for someone over 27 and a half years old.
Yep. Okay. That's that. Love it. Good fun. Let me just touch on this because it is breaking news as we are live. So I'll just share my screen. It's got to do
What's
with
everyone
Jesse.
complaining about my mic as well? Is something wrong with my mic?
No, your mic is fine. I think they're just having a bit of a laugh. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't find it funny. So
Oh, yeah. So Xander Maguire is reporting that Port Adelaide has emerged as a suitor for Jesse Motlop as contract negotiations with Carlton drag on. Jesse's father, Daniel, was a fan favourite at the Power, booting 155 goals in 83 games. We might put this into the as a late submission into the rank the rumor, but there you go.
I always thought it was a little bit better. Xander was a little bit better than that, but come on, Xander, you're better than that. He's added the whole. His dad played for Port. Oh no, Xander.
He bleeds teal.
That's not a reason. That's not a reason for a trade.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I think has been on a lot of people's minds, and there was an update today. So father-son, NGA rules, restrictions. There's a school of thought that the AFL are going to change the rules or amend the rules, which would mean potentially a lockout in the top 10 picks for bids. Carlton today have apparently spoken to the AFL privately rather than going public and making a big statement. Can you just clear up what are the proposed changes? And if they do come into effect, will we get Cody Walker? Because that's really what everyone is, I guess, not everyone, but I think there's a good section of people that are stressing about.
Oh, dear. Yeah, so I mean, this is a real fascinating one. So the AFL, this has been an issue for a long time. So at the minute, everyone's now complaining about it. If you've watched my content for 3 years, I have hated this rule and I have wanted it absolved for about 20 years. Like an absolute ridiculous that our only medium of equalisation can be manipulated. So what they're looking for is a lockdown on the first, depending on who reports it. It's 1 to 10 or the entire first round, which I am hoping it's 1 to 18, right? 1 to 18, it's actually specified, not when we extend these first rounders. But what that will do is effectively mean not one player will be landlocked to any other club. Now, there's a few things of why I don't think it will come in, right? So they tried to pander this idea a couple of years ago. Sydney presented hard evidence to the AFL that the Indigenous representation in AFL has been incredibly poor for the last 20 years. And they proved beyond reasonable doubt how much it's been improved by their academies. Gold Coast also went into bat with them. So that makes it incredibly hard to change because the academies put a lot of money in. The other issue you're going to have with this is nearly every club over the next 2 years, some for the first time ever, have got top first round players that are in there. So yes, to answer your question in short, Terry, this could totally change, right? But then what people don't understand is how the draft can be manipulated legally. So there is a certain player at Carlton who has spent most of his time playing school football and his exposure has been limited. You've also got to add into the fact that there will be ways round this rule should it come in, because West Coast would not be so foolish with pick 1 to take Cochrane, who is Port's, or Carlton's Cody Walker, if they knew in 2 years, 3 years, he may trade out, or worse, may not even want to be drafted there. We haven't seen it yet. So it's a fascinating conundrum. My issue with this is the AFL are putting a rod beneath their own back, and 5 to 6 players are potentially next year. There's going to be a little bit of funny business and they'll work together. You'll still get them though. Like, this is what people don't understand. I won't be shocked next year. So let's say if it came in, you'll just see trades become a paramount and teams will pay the fair value. There is many ways to change this though, and I don't think you'll see it. I think all of the AFL clubs will be in agreement. 2028 is when we bring this rule in. When Tasmania get their concessions, it would make it a lot easier. It's 3 draft windows from now to change. So what that will allow you to do is have plenty of time to pull picks. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. I don't think it'll come in. My gut is it won't come in at all for a couple of years. I think it's more panic waving. I'm glad Port have started to go into bat. I was very impressed that Carlton have already gone into bat, but they haven't publicly done it, because there's nothing more cringe than AFL clubs pissing and moaning about it. You've got to play smart. So it'd be fascinating. I do think there's ways to fix this, though. I actually think it's a 20% tax, not a 20% discount. The fact you discount picks to get players is stupid. It should be a tax.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. Next up, we'll just get this done before we start playing Rank the Rumor. Rule changes for the AFL. I don't know if everyone saw that. So a few hours ago, the report came out that the AFL is going to propose the introduction of a few rules. So firstly, the AFL Commission will this month be asked to approve some changes. Greg Swan's vision for the game is laid bare. So firstly, the last disposal out of bounds rule. Secondly, where is the other one? Oh my God, I've lost them. The 666 warning will stay. Last touch out of bounds. What's the third one? It's in front of me, but I've missed it. The bounce. The bounce. Yep. The bounce, not sure yet. Likely to stay. But I think the main one is that the last touch rule will come in. So essentially, we've gone from deliberate out of bounds to insufficient intent, and it's almost like we've been preparing for this anyway, and now we're moving to last disposal. So anytime the ball is handballed or kicked and bounces out of bounds, the opposing team will immediately get the ball, but it's in between the arcs, so not inside forward 50, right?
Yeah, he's limited between the arcs if it's a kick or a handball.
All in the name of speeding up the game. Thoughts?
You know what? We had this. I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago with a good mate of mine that works in the rugby league, right, in the Super League in the UK, and we were just chatting about it because he happened to watch something I was on, and he was saying, "Do you know the incredible degree of difficulty to kick a ball and make it bounce once and go out is probably harder than kicking it to get it out on the full?" And he was like, they have that rule in the NRL. They have that in rugby. The ability that you actually win the free kick if you get it in the opposition's 20-meter arc and it bounces and goes out of play. It's incredibly hard to do. If you've ever played centre or halfback and tried to do that, it's almost nigh impossible. So I always find this one fascinating. I've watched a lot of Sandford football, and I'll admit it's very quick, it's very fast-paced, it keeps the ball in bounds a lot more. It's why you see a little bit of more run and stun, a little bit more congestion. One thing I've noticed with Sandford is it does make it congested because they actually do go more corridor-bound. Teams are more central-based, which is funny because that was why we had all these rules to stop congestion. It's going to be interesting how that works, but look, you're always going to come up against things. I don't like this insufficient intent. I think it's so grey that some are, some aren't. This kind of takes that away. I'm willing to be adaptive. I'm not a big fan of it in hindsight on paper because I feel like it counteracts the last changes, but I'm willing to see what it does.
Yeah. We're all pawns in this game, and they're trying to make the game more entertaining, and they're trying to make the season last longer so they can make a few more bucks. And that's why the wild card will probably come in as well. That's how I see it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, what's fascinating is in the arcs. So it's only in between the arcs. What are they doing? So it's going to still be insufficient intent. I think that's where the more grey areas are. When someone's in their D50 and it goes out, like we saw that handball, that was just a shit handball, paid as insufficient intent. And it was just a crap handball from Carl Amon. Like, I don't think it was a pressure thing. I think it was more of a brain fart, and that got paid a free kick. They're the ones that do my head in. I'd love, if I was bringing in a rule, I'd like to give some advantage to defenders to clear it to touch. I'd love to see an element of risk of if you go D50 and the ball rolls out in the opposition's half, like say maybe, I don't know, 60, they retain possession to try and encourage teams to go direct. You know, a bit like the 80-20 rule in NRL. I'm sure, Gav, you're all over this because you're a Queenslander. Do you know what I mean? The 40-20 rule. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I don't understand how the 40.
Play.
I don't understand how the 40-20 rule works.
So if you boot it out of your defensive half and it goes out of the opposition's 20, you get the free kick.
Right.
So it encourages you to clear with accuracy.
Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, 80-50. How good would that be, Gav? Like, genuinely, that then encourages teams with accurate kicking to take the risk of it being a free kick against. But if you get it right, you've turned defending into attacking in one shot. And that's what we see in rugby. Before, years ago, teams would just hootenanny it there with no excuse. It would slow the game down because you just get your sets again. Now you see teams take that aggressive play and potentially concede a game-ending score for the chance to attack. It adds an element of risk.
Okay. Are you ready?
Born ready, mate.
We're going to play. Oh, no, that was actually fine. Hang on.
I'm scared.
We're going to play a little game. It's called Rank the Rumor. Okay. So I'm going to throw out trade rumors that have been on the internet or just around in the media over the last couple of weeks, couple of months. And I'm going to get you to rank them from cooked. So absolutely, what are you talking about? Not in a million years. This is never happening. Fantasy, I think of it like wishful thinking. Possible, open to the idea, could happen. And then genius, you strongly believe this is the type of move that we need at Carlton to get things moving forward.
So am I doing it from a Carlton fan's perspective or just a general AFL weighing up both sides?
You are doing this from a Carlton fan perspective.
Oh, God, okay, that makes it even harder. Go on, then.
All right. Let's start off with a few popular ones. All right, how about this? Jack Silvani banned 2 compo.
Genius.
All right. We'll put it there. Charlie Curnow in a deal for Errol Goulden.
Oh, you're going to make me look like a dickhead in front of my AFL mates here. If it's from a Carlton perspective, is it just Errol Goulden, straight swap?
No, there'd have to be the picks back and forth. Okay, maybe you can add a little bit of AFL flavor into this too, so it's not completely biased. I'm basically trying to decipher between
cooked. It would be Swans do that stupidest decision in the history of Swans.
Right. All right.
So I'll put it in fantasy with the Carlton flavour of if you got Errol Goulden for Charlie Curnow, I think we win that deal on paper, but it's in the realms of you've got more chance of Taylor Swift buying my channel and becoming Pommy and Oz than that happening.
Okay. What about Buku Kamas for a future second?
Buku, so a future second.
Yes.
Okay, where do I think Carlton are finishing this next year? So let's say pick 12, pick 13. So 18 plus 13, 21, 20, Possible, but I don't like it. I'll be honest. I think it's I could see that being the deal. Hopefully, with a third coming back, but I don't like it. I'm not
What's
a
your
big.
what's your reservation on that?
Well, one, it depends what you're buying him as. You've just re-signed Kemp, so is Kemp that third forward option? I don't think Buku is a pure key forward, which he would be the sell for me. If you're saying that he's a replacement for Jesus, you've got to treat him as a backman. Dogs played Norton at centre half back over Buku Kamis, so they played a premier key forward down there.
Okay.
It's the kind of deal that we do. And I agree with Tatum there. Yeah. Like that worries me. So I think the price of a second is overs, but I can see Carlton doing it. That's why I'm putting it in the possible, because they do pay for it. But if you are using him as a defensive side, I wouldn't want to pay a third for him. I know the Doggies fans love him, and I know he looks exciting, but you've cold hard facts. He ain't.
Okay. Dione, no, his name is not Buku, Bluku. I'm just winding up. I'm winding up, Tommy.
Terry's trying to finish me off, and he's doing a very good job.
Elijah Hollins for Lockie Shoal.
Genius.
Genius?
You take away Carlton's risk. There's no future for Elijah at Carlton Football Club. I love Elijah, but it's obvious he has to be moved on. Lockie Shoal, definite upgrade to our wings. He's behind some incredible players that would be first choice at Carlton at Adelaide. All day long, I'd do that. I think that's a very good deal.
Charlie Curnow for Hayward.
You know what?
9.
Can I just move Buku down to fantasy? It's actually making me feel sick.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I feel better.
Hey, this is your graph, mate. This is your
Yeah,
Charlie
it's
Curnow.
actually making me feel sick.
So a deal with Sydney, Charlie Curnow for Hayward, pick 9, and Pistol Pete Laddams.
Will Hayward.
Yeah.
You throw a curveball there. So I'm getting pick 9, Will Hayward, Pistol Pete.
And you're probably giving back a second or whatever, but that's the kind of, yeah.
I like Hayward, but do I like him for Charlie Curnow is the question. Can I put it right on the precipice of cooked fantasy? But I agree with Elect Dog. That deal, you know what went off? I know you're off saying cooked. Do you know my reservation? I've seen Carlton trades way too long and covered them for you beautiful people in chat. That sounds fucked now. We've 2 hours to go in the window. Terry's live doing a countdown. Charlie spat his dummy out to the point of he ain't coming back. He's in the car. He's done a Peter during QPR. He's waiting outside of the Tottenham training ground. He's at Sydney in his Humvee. That is the kind of deal I would be like, fucking hell, hate this football club. It'd be like pick 6 for Chera, pick 6 for Sard. It's a horrible trade, but it's a trade I know I live in a realm where I could do a review of that trade.
Okay. We'll stick. Oh, okay. Well, how about Zach Butters for the TDK compo and a pick that we would get in a hypothetical Charlie Curnow deal? So the 2 first rounders.
So 2 first rounders for Zach Butters.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be really annoying here. Have I done any other business? Or are you telling me literally it's like Campbell Cheshire, Jack Petrocelli, Liam Reedy, and
Sure.
I've got and Zach Butters. So the only 3 I've got are the players we're linked with.
Yep.
And I get Zach Butters.
Yep.
I don't like it. And hopefully we've got time at the end to show you what I've been working on the off-season. But I'll tell you for why I don't like it. I don't think that covers any of our issues as a football club. I think it just makes us win the ball more. He's a top 5 player in the league. But we have so much more that we need to fix. Adding Zach Butters is Adam Chera, is Adam Sard. It is a gloss pick that you're just making one line incredibly better without focusing on the rest, although he's a great footballer. So I'm putting that in fantasy, at the top half of fantasy.
Yeah.
But it would be, like dogs, spot on. Let's keep buying fucking mids. What could go? We North Melbourne in disguise. We North in disguise. But definitely, if you sorted all the other holes out, I'd be very happy. I think Zach Butters is someone you chase hard with the cap next year for free.
Okay. Oh, because he's out of contract.
Ah.
All right. How about Kai Lohman for McGovern and a future second?
So Mitch McGovern, what's his street value? Probably a third. There's probably clubs, though, that would pay a second because they think he's not real. They probably think it's... There'll be players out... There'll be clubs right now, I'm telling you, that will think Mitch McGovern is like when Voss signed him, thought it was Jeremy McGovern. From a Carlton perspective, though, if Brisbane rang me up right now and said, we'll give you Kai Lohman for one of your future seconds and Mitch McGovern, I would say, Mitch, jump on my back. We're walking to Brisbane, mate. And I'll get an Uber back. So I'm going to go high level, possible, low level genius.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm not putting it in genius, Terry, is I refuse to do a Carlton thing and just look at it from my point of view. If Brisbane did that, I'd have to retract every video I've done on Brisbane where I've said they're shrewd operators in the trade table.
Liam Reedy for a future third. Hey, Tatum, these aren't my trades. These are what I found on the internet from Carlton fans, mate.
This is why it's hurting my brain, Tatum. You see, I only talk about football with a few people. You're one of them. This is why. Third, future third, or this year's third?
Future third.
Possible.
I
want it in the high end of possible as well.
Put it like right here. How about that? All right. Jack Silvani, band 1 compo.
Let's have a look. I don't want to put too much on the line here. Let's see. What's the top level? So 900. Cooked.
Yeah. As in, like, don't even entertain it in your mind. Not going to happen.
Well, I mean, look, based on it's cooked because it's never happened, right? So, like we said earlier, identical to the Isaac Cumming deal. All the other deals that I've got band 1 have to be 6 years for anyone that's been over 26. So it's not going to happen. And if I was North Melbourne, I would be writing to the AFL to complain overnight if Carlton got band 1 from Jack Silvani.
All right.
I would be tempted to write to complain about band 2 if I was North Melbourne.
Jack Petrocelli as a delisted free agent.
So totally free?
Yeah.
Cooked.
Hey,
I led him down the garden path with that one.
What's the... Yeah. As in, you just don't think it's worth in investment? Not a fan of the player? Like just
Two reasons. One, I watch football. And two, you've only got to go on West Coast forums that when they announced Jack Petruccelli was delisted, they said, where the fuck's Owi's name? So that's how bad it is. So yeah, Jack Petruccelli, incredibly quick, but can't use the ball. And yeah, worries me. So
Fair.
no, not for me.
Braden Fiorini as an unrestricted free agent.
This year,
Yeah.
no.
No.
100% not. Because if anyone has ever researched anything and said we want to get unrestricted free agents, mental, because you'll lose Jack Silvani's money, right? So you've got to weigh up every player that if you sign some restricted agent is better than pick 22, 23, so cut. If you've suggested an uncontracted free agent and Carlton do that, you don't love Carlton.
Right. Oh, what's happening here?
Because it's bants. Like the fact we're getting a second rounder for Jack Silvani is criminal. And if ever there was a reason to ban compensation, Jack Silvani's ban 2 compensation is it.
Okay. Campbell Chessa and so the Campbell Chessa deal, we give up a future third.
Future third. So that's look. I think people hate it. I can see, like I said it in my video. I think that's one of them horrible deals where it's like a third with something else coming back, like a lesser pick. But yes, look, genius because it's a lateral replacement for a third round pick. Campbell Cheshire is better than a third round pick.
Okay.
Not great though. Not exciting. I don't want people to get excited and start saying all Australian. It's a nice pick.
Yeah, as in it's not. Yeah, no, I understand. What about? We've got a few pies here. Brody Myercheck, 2-year deal.
Just as a delisted player. So like he's like totally gone through all the loopholes. He's now training on, wanting a deal. Has Charlie gone or has Charlie stayed?
Okay, let's assume Charlie's gone. I should have put I should put an asterisk here. Yeah.
Okay, if Charlie's gone, mid fantasy.
And if Charlie stays, don't even.
Cut.
Okay. All right, that was a bad example.
No, it was a good example. But definitely the type of player that if Charlie goes and you want a stopgap, get him.
Okay. Jamie Elliott, 3-year deal.
3 years.
Yeah. Bit of
I will
premiership
caveat,
experience.
Even though he's a little bit old, I do know for facts Brody Myercheck is regarded as one of the best coaches. So I would be happy to give him a bit longer. Jamie Elliott is 33. August he turns, so end of that season he's 34. So 36 years. Oh, that's a long time, Terry. I agree with you in the terms of he's great player. But 3 years, that's a long time. I don't think he could. I know that's what he wants, though. Cooked. Right profile, too long.
2-year deal?
I think to snag him off Gold Coast and Brisbane, they're offering 2 years.
Okay, fair.
So I think you'd have to go 3. But
Ryan
that's them
Angwin.
ones that I don't want.
So I added this one because my man Jacob Ware was he's gone to Port Adelaide. So I've picked another GWS giant fringe-ish guy. Played well on the weekend. Ryan Angwin for a future second. Played 10 games. Left footer.
Yeah. So pick 18 he was when he bought 22, 25. So 3 years, 22 games. No injuries. Incredible user of the football. Left-footed, which increases the value. Only a break in his history. Oh, second rounder. If that was a second with a third coming back, I would probably entertain that. I think top end of fantasy, low end of possible.
Top end fantasy, so like maybe like half and half.
Yeah. Like if it was an option, you'd definitely entertain it because incredibly versatile, plays across the wing, half back, has had spurts in state league football at half forward, so incredibly versatile, good user of the football, very reliable.
Okay.
Not a bad player.
One more Charlie Curnow example. So the Curnow and Jack Silvani compo, or whatever, the Curnow and the TDK compo, for Flanders, Walter, and Rogers.
So I just get Walters and Flanders.
And Jake Rogers.
So I get 3 players and they get Curnow.
And a pick. Yeah, I've got Curnow on the sauce compensation pick. That should say Curnow on the TDK compensation pick, but anyway.
Okay, so Charlie Curnow and a second. For I probably wouldn't do it. I really like Jake Rogers as a profile of a type of player, but I like Jed Walter too, and I like Flanders. I just think I don't like it. The fantasy. I think it's one of the more solid ones. But
Wishful
again,
thinking.
see what I said about Sydney. I think it's more likely you do a deal with Sydney and Gold Coast because you may be able to sell it to the list management team. Charlie is Jed Walters in 5 years today. If I was Gold Coast, I would not entertain a Charlie Curnow trade, though. And if I was Sydney, I would not entertain a Charlie Curnow trade.
Okay. I've got 2 more names and then we're done. Maybe we can do this again another time. Tom Mitchell.
Oh,
standards. Cooked. Okay.
Cooked. Insert
Standard.
Anyone over 31, cooked.
Yep. Cooked. All right. And, well, yeah, you did guess it. The last name was Adam Treloar.
Don't even put that on there.
Okay. Okay.
Bro makes no offense to Treloar, incredible player, right? Incredible player. But why? He hasn't expelled leadership. He hasn't. So you can't even sell it to me. Like, you're just bringing him in because he's older. Not for me, no.
I actually think this is a pretty realistic summary of the, like, all trade rumors that we've seen so far. Like, most are in La La Land.
Yeah. I mean, look, I agree with Afrin. If you can get Jed Walter, it has to be a good deal, though. It has to be a good deal. Like, Jed Walter for Charlie in some shape, I would 100% do it. And these are the 2 reasons why. One, I am not convinced, and I haven't seen yet 2 key forwards work together, both with the mindset of being the number 1 at the same time. So when you look at other teams, there is a defined number 1 every time. Okay. And one of them is the subservient player. So when people look at Hawkins, you've only got to look at Hawkins and hear what he said. He was subservient. His job was to hang in the goal square, let Jeremy do the work. We've never seen Charlie and Harry work together, right, as that. So I can make an argument that you would do it if you had Jed, because Jed has been the second. But that deal as well for you to trade Charlie, you've got to understand where our list is at. It's not complete. There's way too many holes. So Afrin taking the piss, saying, glad Pom's not list manager. I'm better than good at this. I'm a fucking liability. What I'm telling you from a list management perspective is to sell Charlie, you have got to bring in someone, multiple someones that make the list better. You've got to, and it's around it. Issue for Gold Coast is, why would you do that? Like, if I was the Gold Coast list manager, why would I sacrifice Jed Walter, potential ceiling? I've put nearly 10 years of investment into his body. Why would I? Why would I? So, like Donald's saying, as good as anyone in 2022. 3 years ago, bro. 3 years ago. So it's always been inconsistent, and our ball movement was better in 2022. So there's the issue. You've got to change it. You've got to change Carlton's list profile. If you just trade Charlie for any old idiot, that's a big problem then, because Carlton don't actually have a second forward. And then when people say play Kemp, play someone else. Okay, well, we don't even know if that works. So the only way you'd sell that to Gold Coast is Charlie is Jed Walters 6-7 years time from now. So forget Carlton sell. It's an easy sell to Carlton. Carlton will do Jed Walter for Charlie and something else all day, because it's a better deal for Carlton in the long term. The issue I've got is, why would Gold Coast do that?
Fair.
That's my only issue. The issue with Charlie is, I agree, if it was a good deal, Carlton would look at it. But that's going to be incredible. It's an incredible hard sell.
Okay.
It'd be fascinating.
That was fun. That was good stuff. Thank you. Next time you come on here, we will have the audience to throw in their own trade suggestions. So just be prepared for that over the next.
Can there be sensible ones?
Well, there's always got to be a mixture of sensible and a little cooked. No.
Yeah. Well, Donald, you see, this is the problem I have when we debate trade things, right? So it's a very AFL situation. AFL is probably the only sport I've ever witnessed where no one can have a well-rounded, intelligent conversation. So people have got to be right? And the beauty of being foreign born is, the only thing that motivates me is just being the man of the house. So I don't care about being right to random people. But what is important is you've got to have a well-rounded conversation. So yes, Gold Coast definitely bring in Charlie Kerner. You would do. I can see the selling, right? It's early. Right. But what is infuriating about the conversation is when you say things like, oh, Carlton, all we've got to do is kick better to Harry and Charlie, right? Or we've got to be less predictable. Okay, well, you've got to find the players to do that, because what do you know as fact? At the minute, Voss has shown his hands. Cripps, Chera, Hewitt, Walsh are his preferred midfield. And no matter what incantation in the last year, when teams have played the extra around the ball at stoppage, that takes Carlton's ability to move the ball quickly, is what we saw in 2023 and 2022. Teams have accessed how Carlton move it. So that means then you've got to change the profile of that list for when you win the ball, to get the ball on the outside moving quicker, which Carlton have an incredible metric for winning the ball, bottom 3 for using the ball from that situation. So you know what? I can do better than that, right? Let's go deep diving. So my algorithm, what it does is we've refined it. So this has been 6 years of work, and it's now automated. So what Carlton's metric spits out, if you were presenting this to a list management team, the first point of call, ball use and transition out of defence, right? So what the algorithm does is it works into categories and groups. So at the minute, it's looking at the backline ability to transition out of defence. Why does it hate Carlton here? Bottom 3 for rebound 50s to advantage. Points from defensive half, bottom 4. Disposal, kicking efficiency from these areas, 18th, overall 17th. Carlton, synopsis, struggle to exit defensive 50. Carlton create more turnovers and win more ball in the back half than any of the top 4 teams. However, this is the slowest moving backline in the league with the most opportunity, thus starving forwards of one-on-one supplies, allowing teams to set zones at their halfway to wing, creating slow, indirect, and often inconsistent and predictable approaches that doesn't play to Charlie Curnow and Mackay's strength, which is oscillating from deep out to a wide position. What that does, defense is when it's under siege, has no quality options to break the chains and impact when it has momentum. So what that does in game, that's when you see Carlton have a lot of ball and end up 0 goals 5. It's not because of how they move the ball, it's how quickly they move the ball. They win it back, they go bang, bang, bang. They're in. Carlton go switch, little chip, switch. So that's saying your forward line, forget about fixing that. Because the teams that are ranked top 6 in this stat, incidentally, make up 80% of the small forwards in this league that kick goals. So that stat, ironically, directly relates. So if number 1, ball use and transition out of defence. Number 2, forward conversion. Why does it hate this? The profile it's looking for, this algorithm at the minute, Carlton produce top 5 scoring impact. They are bottom 2 conversion. They are bottom 3 goals. They are bottom for goal accuracy. They are top 3 worst sides from shots in low percentile areas. And as an XG, Carlton are one of the worst sides in the league when you look at player attacking profile versus how the ball comes in. So why is that so whole? It means all the hard work you do means Carlton are wasteful and very laconic when they move the ball in. So that means Carlton on average need around 10 inside 50s to return the same scores on the scoreboard as the top 4 do in 6. Let that sink in. So wow. Carlton are almost working 50% harder just to get the scores of the top 4, right? Inefficiency kills, right? Number 3, and this is really interesting, stoppage and first possession. Carlton are ranked number 2 for winning tough ball. Number 3 for winning ball in midfield. Number 4 for generating opposition turnover in the midfield. But rank way below average from hit outs to score opportunities. They rank bottom 2 for first possessions. They rank bottom 4 for clearance differential minus TDK. What this says is Carlton, when they win taps and dominate it, they don't have an ability to use the hard work on Cripps, Hewitt, Walsh, and Cherry. Incidentally, are all linked in the top 20 of midfielders winning ball, right? Means they don't get it there fast enough. Donald, bear with me. If you actually listen, instead of speaking, as my nana used to say, sometimes listen and let someone more intelligent speak. That'll serve you very well as you get older as well, mate. I'm looking after you. So that basically means Carlton are incredibly good at the contest and winning, but 0 result. So other teams, for example, Fremantle, they work 75% less than Carlton, right? Efficiency, 180% greater output attacking. That tells you a picture. We're better at winning it, twice as bad as them at doing anything with it. And this is the real damning too. Forward half, repeat entries, right? Tackles inside 50, bottom 2. Forward half turnovers created, bottom 5. One of the key metrics of winning games. Points from forward half, bottom 3. Only Eagles, North and Essendon are worse than us. Carlton's small forwards from this synopsis aren't the problem per se. It means that their system lacks locking the ball in. We've already talked about the slow entries, which means it goes against what they're good at. It basically means Carlton's small forwards become sitting ducks, and all they have to do is defend. And the problem is the stats are saying they should be a top 4 tackle side, because they're not being used offensively. So they are -20 this year on what should happen if a team plays like this. That's not Carlton. So it means Carlton rarely generate repeat entries. They have poor entries inside, meaning they need more. It means one chance rebound opposition scoring, right? Makes the game plan inefficient. And the final one, defensive spread. Carlton rank bottom 6, the only side in the top half of the table that are in opposition D50s to scores, right? Meters gained, bottom 4 differential. Transition, defense efficiency, bottom 2. This is saying that Carlton win. Carlton are one of the strongest one-on-one sides, defending sides in the league. The defensive profile Voss talks about, correct, top 6. It means when you win it, fuck all happens. So all you're good at is defending. All the top teams turn that. Brisbane, GWS, Collingwood, Geelong cut teams apart with a weaker defence than Carlton from a defensive point of view. So, in summary, if I've bored you because I've gone on for a bit, what the data is telling you, you should prioritise players with ball use transition, forward half conversion, stoppage stability, stoppage ball use, forward half pressure, and ability to overlap run, right? Now, that's the why, right? So what this algorithm now does is works on NBA, NFL, EPL, recruitment, looking outside the square. So that being said, the biggest changes in the last 6 years in AFL have been recruiting from state leagues or later developed players to get your squad builders. Luckily, Carlton's suitability score is quite high. So what you're looking for here, running defender, you're not looking for the obvious thing. So all the teams have the lowest contract value draft picks in the back half of the ground. For ball users, it's usually key defenders. So Carlton are right there. So examples that this algorithm pulls off would be someone like Kane Bevan. So what we're talking about now, state league players I can get for dirt cheap. So Kane Bevan, not an exciting name, right? Not an exciting name, right? But goes at 77% efficiency playing at halfback, generates 3.6 inside 50s, strong two-way runner, would be an option for Carlton on the wing. If you're wanting AFL players that are cheap, Lachlan Shaw has the same marking numbers as Akers, has higher disposal efficiency than Ollie, and has the same work rate as Ollie. So you can look at that way. That is one of the methods that you do. Looking at the state league would get you cheaper players. Other players that ring out, you look at Manor, the young player of the year, even though he's 28.
Oh, Geelong Manor, Sean Manor.
Yeah, right. So what you do is they worked on something similar. So this algorithm now looks for someone who's like Manor. First name that it pops out is a player called Jay Dalhouse, right? Proven finisher, doesn't waste shots, ability to hit the scoreboard, conversion inside 50, likes to play high up the ground and be the link man. 1.5 goals at 95% accuracy. Of them goals, a staggering 70% are from Carlton's low percentile ratio.
Wow. Where's he played?
Plays at Werribee, VFL. Jay Dalhouse. Another player that it likes, if you want cheap running defenders, Nathaniel Salzberger. Nathaniel Salzberger is a conduit for North Melbourne. His job is to do the giving in the give and go. That's what Carlton lack. Someone that you can chip kick it to, give it off to someone. Salzberger does that. He's got average solid rebound 50s. He's strong one-on-one. His disposal efficiency is elite. And he gets the chains moving. Other exciting little punts you can take. This guy's very good. Is someone like Tom Hurd. Right? So Tom Hurd, he's currently at Port Melbourne, but averaging 5 tackles a game, 75% efficiency, transition, defence, and he's an outlet ball. Carlton lack that combination. So what the algorithm has said is when we play wingers our wingers are doing one job independently, it's suggesting you do two things. So they're the ideas from the VFL. We're going to do a long, in-depth video where we cover about 100 VFL players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you've got to do. So this year for Carlton, go back to what we said, in a short-term, quick 5, Carlton in their recruitment, if they are going to edit their game plan with the holes that have been generated, ball use, transition, pace has to be number 1 on any attribute that you buy. The ability to change your forward conversion, that can come in 2 ways. 1, you buy players that are good at sorting you out when you shit, or you just you fix ahead of the ball to allow them to be better. And the big 3 is you are looking for someone that's not a ball winner. You're looking for your Nick Dacos. You're looking for your lazy footballer, for want of a better word. Someone that doesn't want to be touched, that wants to stay out in space and you be fed the ball all day. It's an incredible part of Carlton. So that is fascinating when you think about this. You're looking at players that can play to the strengths we've already got. So it's really, really, really intriguing. So like Tatum says, I agree. I think the problem I've got with Carlton's recruitment is I think Nick Austin and Agresta are the same human being. They're incredibly good at finding young talent. Where it comes off is, one is an incredibly poor, they're both poor negotiators. And number 2, I don't think they're very good at ascertaining fair value for established players. So it's a fascinating conundrum Carlton find them in, because you've got to look for these points. I don't think Carlton are lacking A-grade talent. I think what Carlton are severely lacking is the fall-off of the support for A-grade talent. So, Ralph, I couldn't agree more. Nick Dacos is one of the best players to ever play the game in the last 10 years. Why it works, though, is they've got players that complement his A-grade style. The issue Carlton have got is they've got George Hewitt, elite inside midfield. They've got Cripps, elite inside midfield. They will win you the ball and give you it all day. The issue is the twats they give it to don't help what Cripps and Hewitt do, because they waste the ball. It's too easy. It's bombed. It's not intrinsic enough. Add on that, the wingers don't work hard enough offensively or defensively. It's either one or the other. So that's where Carlton have got to really look at. When we win the ball, any idiot should be able to play it. The problem is the profile. Chera's more inside than he is outside. Walsh, we spent ages playing him on the inside, and we've only seen glimpses of him playing on the outside. So that's what's really fascinating. I agree with Donald. Chera, for me, wrong pick, because it didn't suit what we were doing at the time. And if you go back, I hated pick 6 for Adam Chera. Made me fucking feel ill, because it wasn't the profile. So it's fascinating what Carlton have got to do. It's not hard. It's not hard to fix. What is hard to fix is changing your mindset. So Carlton will probably more likely go into this trade period historically, and Zach Butters would be what Carlton would do. Where a good club, Josh Battle, Hawks, they were in the same predicament as we are now with Zach Butters. If you remember, I remember doing a draft series and all the Hawks came up to me and said, "Got to get Battle. Got Sam Frost here. It's fucking dog shit. We need Battle now. I don't care about waiting a year." And like my reply to them was, wait a year, get him for free. Hold an end up, get him for free, work around your list. They did that. It's worked brilliantly. They got 2, incidentally. They got Barras and they managed to get Battle, right, for free. They used the picks they were going to do on Battle for 2 good players. Carlton right now, if I was list manager, would be like, right, Zach Butters is coming in next year. He's who I want. We've got the cap. I want to now get all the pieces in place, with or without Charlie, so we're a very strong team 12 months from now. And that needs to start with, how are the metrics? At the minute, everything is good in the dirty areas. The problem is our dominance in the back line doesn't turn into transitional spread, turnover football. The problem is our dominance around the middle doesn't turn into score launches, doesn't turn into quick ball. And the big three is it doesn't matter who you play in the forward line. You could have Jeremy Cameron, Harry Mackay Prime, fucking whoever you name, Charlie Cameron, Toby Green. When that ball comes in as slow as fuck as it does, so easily, so routined, you ain't kicking goals. Yep. So that's what Carlton have got to do. And it's not hard. It's not hard to change, but the mindset has to change. I saw the comments about Campbell Cheshire. I don't think Campbell Cheshire is A grade, and that makes me excited. What does make me excited about him is his facets of his game. And they are the type of players we should have recruited when the game shifted in 2021 quite dramatically to win ball, spread ball. We were still in the 2018 mindset of the way to stop Richmond, win inside ball, stop them moving it. It shifted in about 2020-21. Collingwood changed it. So the problem is we're working off a model that would have beaten Richmond, and teams have gone 7 stages ahead that. So you've got to change it quickly. If you don't change it quickly, this is not just a rebuild. This is a rebuild of gargantuan proportions, because even the pillars you've got mean sweet fuck all. Because at the minute, we've got 2 nice bits of crust, mould in the middle.
Wow. That was medicine.
Well, thank you. But what I want people to think of is stop going black and white, right? Real important. Stop watching loads of podcasts and letting them indoctrinate your mind. You are intelligent young men and women. So your eyes don't often lie. Data never lies, right? But your eyes will often lie. So if you think, right, we need speed, we need spread, you're probably right. But don't ever be blindsided by thinking the name will help you. Because when you look at Adelaide's trade period, I ranked A star last year for 3 reasons. 1, Peatling coming were the hugest acquisitions for a side that was playing an extra every week to cover what one of them can do. So what I'm talking about here is Carlton play Akers and Ollie and someone else on the wing, because incompetence, they can't have one guy do all 3 jobs, which every other club does. Peatling, ironically, has killed Scholl, the extra winger, because now 5 players can rotate on that right wing, because Peatling is so versatile. You want him to play on the ball for a bit, I'll do it. Half forward, I can do it. Wing, I can do it. Coming, you want me to play half back? I can do wing. I can do that. Play the extra. I can do that. So suddenly that's allowed them to do that. So that's what Carlton have got to really target here. Motlop, you're playing full-time forward pocket. Fuck off in the midfield. I need someone to play pinch hit midfield, slot across half forward. So you target it. You target it and you say, right, you fuck off back to the forward pocket. Right? Don't manufacture the position. Buy the position. Neil Bullen, great one. Donald, that's a big one. Last year, they flirted with Rochelle. They flirted with Rankine. They flirted with Dawson playing in the forward half of the ground. They flirted with so many players doing one role each. They just went out and bought Neil Bullen, the man who, if you need him to lock down on a half forward, he can do it. You need him to punch ahead, he can do it. You need him to track someone, he can do it. Oh, you need someone to go into the forward line and kick. Oh, he can do that as well. So that's where Carlton's mindset needs to be. Get star names out of your head and go, right, okay, what do I want? Charlie goes, I need a key forward that's going to stand in the fucking goal square. So when Harry works up the ground, he's there going, right, I'm here, bro. I've got this fucking lump of lard here. Kick to me. I'll be okay. That's what he needs. You don't want to be thinking, fuck, I need to replace him with Jeremy Cameron. Or I need to replace him with someone adequate. That makes stars better. Like, the biggest scare for me when I look at the data, you have got Hewitt and Cripps that would be walk-up starts for every side in the league on the ball. We've got 2 of them. And when we win the ball, like, if you gave Cripps to Nick Dacos, there would be no Brownlow medal race at all. It would be Nick Dacos, who's finishing second. That'll be exciting. I can't wait to see who finishes second. That's the level of where Carlton is, right? It's fascinating. Like when you actually watch Carlton's list holes, it's not saying star, it's saying competence, it's saying complement pieces. Very worrying, but very easy to fix. Two things need to happen. Fans need to drop their expectations. Not going, oh, I want an A grader. Fuck A graders. Want hard workers. Hard workers who complement
5, 6 of them.
stars. Yeah. Like James Peatling times 5. I want who's James, like that's why when people laughed at your Angwin one and complained, going, oh, that's stupid. Exactly what Carlton need. Someone that does their job, will slot in high half back, win the ball, hit targets. Win the ball, hit targets. All he's got to do. That's what you want. You don't want exciting. Like Donald talking about, I've worked out who you are, Donald, now. It's one of your multiple burners. Sometimes
it's Dominic, Josh. It's the same. It's the same dude.
Yeah, right. So Kennedy is a fascinating case because when you look at Carlton's list, doesn't work because Voss likes to play their midfielders. Voss would have never had the intelligence to play him at half forward, pinch it in the midfield. As proven, he went half back, he went wing a couple of games. He was the accession piece. Western Bulldogs have effectively replaced Trelaw with a bigger body, more physical version of him. So that's really fascinating there. So it's fixable though. But caveat, I'm not excited because the messaging from the football club still is don't worry, Pom. Don't worry, Pom. We're still that Carlton. We're still that guy. There will be a shiny, beautiful, A-grade, floppy-haired guy here. No, we don't.
A big fish.
Yeah, I don't want a big fish. I've got big fish. You know what I want? I want them fucking suction fish that eat the plankton off the big fish. You know, the cleaners.
6 of them. 6 of them.
The little shrimps going on Crip's big ass, eating all the parasites, going, don't worry, Cripper, you get us to the promised land. That's what I want.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely
Sorry,
love
I
it.
went over time there. I probably bored you. Don't worry. You won't see me.
No,
again
not at
now.
all. It was like it's like hypnotizing, to be honest.
Yeah. I want Flanders fits the bill. And do you know why Stewson Flanders fits the bill? Because at the minute, halfback, we are playing any cunt that has legs, kicks a ball but not very good in Ollie Hollands. Where he's Ollie Hollands, you look at his body type, the way he plays. If someone said halfback flank, you'd do this to them. Slap them round the face, apologise, and say, go and get me a fucking halfback. There's millions of them. That's where you'd maybe look. You'd look and go, Doc, played halfback, played mid, played half forward, played everywhere. Perfect acquisition for this is where it comes important, right price. If that price stops me getting 2 more players, it's not worth it. It has to be the right price. What was Flanders, Charlie, and pick 6? Oh, mate, I'd walk Charlie to Gold Coast because that covers 2 holes, pick 6. Look, don't get worked up on the Butters. What I'm saying is, though, Butters will cost you 5 players. So you need 6 players by my count to make this side from 12th to 8th. Let that sink in. 12th to low-ranking finals.
Yeah.
Butters makes 1 area better, 5 areas stay the same. What I'm saying is you want to make them 6 areas better now. Next year, 1.8 million Zach Butters walk across. Cody Walker walks across. But you've already fixed that. You've already fixed that area. Bringing in Butters is the worst thing you do because that's what Carlton have done last 3 big deals. Fix 1 area, everyone's wanked, right? Then the 5 areas are shit still. But it's all right. We've got this sexy area. Look at the midfield now, Terry. Chera and Walsh. Imagine when they develop. Oh my God, the half-back line's still slow and shit. Half forward still shit. So that's why it's so important that you make sure you fix them. Then you bring the stuff in that you need. So you ask me now, I will lose 2 picks for Zach Butters. Next year, get him for money. Get him. Get him next year then. Why would I pay 2 first, ruin a chance to reset for getting him a year in? Fuck Butters. Let him piss off and hate Port Adelaide for a year. And then next year, ring him up. 1.8 million, baby. Come with us, man. Look at us now. We're good, mate. You handballing this to a good player and a good player. Come here. Come to Uncle Michael Voss, and fucking your other mate upstairs will give you a back rub as you get a little fucking cuddle from Voss. That's what you do. And that's how you win a flag.
Excellent. I think that is just the perfect way to end. Mate, that was loads of fun. So good to have you back. Not on a rating show, but just on a Monday.
It's always, look, this is where I belong. Look, remember that. Look, as much as I'll leave you all and do my own thing, just know that this is my home and I miss you all. I do miss you all. So it's always a pleasure to come back. Would I trade Charlie, Walter, and pick 6? Would I trade Charlie for Walter and pick 6? Maybe. I would prefer a player and maybe a second.
Possible.
If that was Flanders, Walter, and let's say their pick 9, I think they've got pick 16, and we give something back to even it out. Maybe our second, I would maybe do it because that fixes 3 areas, and we've got Arsenal to attack. I'm just very wary of sending it for a player and pick 6.
Fair. All right. Guys, that's us. Pommy, what have you got on this week that we need to be aware of?
I have no fucking idea. So what you've just heard about Moneyball, that's something that we're really passionate about, the Pommy and Oz channel, and we're trying to do trades where we explain the opposition and the buyer. So the buyer and the seller, the calls from both. It's very important to me that we do that. Loads coming up. So what you've got here, if you do like your state league players, we've got a lot of Moneyball series where we're going through the list at the minute. So West Coast will come out. Carlton's will be in about 4 weeks, just before the draft and the trade period. So we're rattling through them. Live show coming later on this week. The return of Mythbusters, Trade Busters. So basically, that's just me and Lek Dog in a polite way bullying people's trade rumors. I love that. That's my favourite thing. So stay tuned for the update on that. Me and Let Dog just basically called the media stupid. A lot of Cooney trades on that show that me and Let Dog go through. When Cooney goes like fucking AWOL and trades half a list for one player, that's where me and Lek are.
Well, guys, if you aren't subscribed to Pommy and Oz, we're like inching to 10K. Less than 1,000 to go. I'm led to believe.
And you would be led to believe correctly as well. Yeah, you have. All sorts going on. For those complaining about my mic as well, thank you. Yes, the cat ate my Yeti mic, so we've had to go back to the budget mic. But they do assure me the cable will be in stock Wednesday. So if that's true or not, we'll find out.
All right. I will be with you all every day. We will do Friday fan cams again. And don't forget, I'm giving away not 1, but 2 best and fairest tickets. So be ready. Members, you are in for the giveaway. We're giving it away next Friday. We'll do it live.
Does that mean you're not going to the BNF?
I'm not going to the BNF.
What are you doing on the BNF then?
You'll see.
All right.
Stay tuned. All right. Let's do it. Much love, guys. See you later.
God bless.